This week on the Roofing Report, potential changes in licensing requirements in the state of Maine have caused quite the controversy. We'll have the latest here for you. Big rule changes coming down from FEMA, how it affects contractors and homeowners following the next natural disaster. We'll also have the latest update from Florida on that bill allowing 16 and 17-year-olds to be on top of roofs. And we're going to see the highlights from JobNimbus and SumoQuote sitting down with Dimitri, how it affects roofers from coast to coast, and what this means to the industry. OSHA continues to come on hard on roofers. We'll have the update on these big penalties that we are seeing across the country and fines, scams, and jail time. And folks, good news reigns supreme this week as we hear the incredible story of roofers banding together in Kansas to help a person in need. It's all this week on roofing's #1 news program, The Roofing Report. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Roofing Report. This is your weekly update on roofing industry news. As always, if you like these videos, make sure you show some support, hit that like button below, and as always, you gotta make sure you're subscribed to this channel and the Roofing Insights newsletter so you never miss an update. And by the way, if you have a news tip for us, or there's a story that you believe we should cover, send it over to Sydney@roofinginsights.com.
Rules and regulations.
Let's get into it. Our first story this week is out of Maine. It's one of 15 states that doesn't require a license for contractors, but that could be changing very soon. They started considering a new law last year, but needed some more time to write it. Now it is back on the table. Based on news reports, the bill has a lot of support. Here's a clip from last spring.
Warmer weather in Maine means home construction season is in full swing.
So this is a new construction bill.
Dana Carmichael is no stranger to this work. He has been a general contractor for 16 years and says recently he has noticed changes in the business.
In the last probably 4 years, I've noticed an influx of contractors coming into the market that just don't have the experience, taking advantage of customers, doing work that is not up to code.
Not up to code, in part because the state of Maine does not require licensing for general contractors, something Carmichael says is frustrating to him.
Those other contractors that are working out of the back of their pickup trucks are basically charging the same rates that I would be charging.
I've gone through this, spent over $100,000.
Stacy Mahonen of Poland is also frustrated. She says since buying her home in December of 2021, she has hired and paid 3 different contractors to do renovations, but
Everybody that I got in there basically just took off with my money, or they didn't put out adequate work.
It's a reality Representative Tiffany Roberts of South Berwick hopes to address with a bill this session, LD 1929, an act to protect consumers by licensing home building contractors.
When we're not regulating projects that consumers spend tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars on, there's bound to be issues.
She is right about the problems that come with no regulation. In 2022, the Maine Attorney General's office got more than 700 complaints about home construction. They're completely overloaded. So you can see why state officials want to deal with it. But not everyone thinks licensing is the answer. Some contractors feel that it's just another way for government to make a few extra bucks. And they say it may push more good people out of business. Others don't think that a 6-hour class is a real test of skill. They want work hours to count for established contractors. The last group of people against the bill are concerned about Maine's housing crisis. They say that licensing contractors will only slow down construction when it needs to be sped up right now more than ever. With all that opposition, the final version of the bill could look different after it gets workshopped. We will keep you up to date on what happens next. Let us know what you think about licensing requirements in your state and what you believe should happen in Maine. Our next story is national, but it could have a big impact on homeowners and contractors in the South. FEMA is making it easier for people to get money after hurricanes and other natural disasters. There are a few different rule changes, but 2 of them are big for the roofing industry. Number 1 is helping uninsured survivors. Under the old rules, homeowners couldn't get FEMA assistance if they got an insurance payout of $42,000 or more. It didn't matter if the total cost of repairs was more than $40K, or if they had damage that wasn't covered by insurance. Under the new rules, homeowners can get up to $42,000 in addition to their insurance payout. That's good news for homeowners and contractors in the South who are dealing with hurricanes on a regular basis. The second FEMA change is removing loan application requirements. Under the old rules, survivors had to apply for small business loans for certain kinds of damage. That included damage to personal property and other non-housing losses, like damages to your business. You had to get rejected for one of those loans before applying for FEMA aid. Under the new rules, you can apply for FEMA and small business loans at the same time. Obviously, this is good for business owners with any kind of property damage, and it's good for roofers working on commercial jobs in disaster zones. Up next is an update from Florida. A few weeks ago, we reported on a bill that would have made it legal for 16 and 17-year-olds to work on roofs in Florida. The bill is Senate Bill 460, and it was rewritten last week. The new version allows teenagers to work for roofers, but they can't work commercial jobs, and they can't work on any scaffolding, roof, or ladder above 6 feet. They would also need to complete a 10-hour OSHA training course and 10 hours of job training before going out on jobs. Supporters say this bill will keep kids safe and give them work opportunities at the same time. On the other side, you have people saying that roofing is too dangerous for kids, even with these changes. Some are arguing that it would go against the federal child labor protections. It's no surprise that this is controversial, but it is a hot topic right now. For those of you who missed it, Dimitri covered a New York Times investigation just a few weeks ago about child roofers in the United States.
Across the country, thousands of migrant children, some as young as 10 years old, are working in roofing. This is illegal, it's incredibly dangerous, but it's something that we're seeing more and more of, and the consequences for these kids can be really catastrophic. We spoke to more than 100 child roofers across the country over the last year and a half. These are children who are hauling bundles of new shingles that can weigh 100 pounds up ladders, and then they walk onto these very steeply pitched roofs, usually without any kind of harness or safety gear. They're working all day long, sometimes 12 hours at a time, and sometimes they're falling. Roofing is one of the 3 most dangerous jobs in this country, even for adults. So it is off limits for anybody who's younger than 18. A lot of these child roofers are coming from Central America. The US has seen almost 400,000 kids come up from Central America since 2021 by themselves without their parents. These are countries that were hit really hard by the pandemic, and children have been telling me that they came because they didn't have enough to eat, they couldn't find enough money for electricity at home, and more than anything, they couldn't afford to go to school. The most common job for those kids who are coming here is construction and roofing. One of the kids who I spent a lot of time with is Anthony Padilla. He fell 30 feet from a roof last year and was severely brain damaged. He is still, a year later, struggling to walk, struggling to talk. He'd like to go home to Honduras and be with his family, but the truth is, where they live, there's no medical care for him, and so he's sort of stranded in South Carolina. You
can go back and watch the full report from December 24th if you are interested. Some of the stories in there are very scary for parents to hear, but they are something that the industry has to take seriously. That's especially true if you support teenagers working in roofing. You have to know what not to do if you want to know how to do it the right way. As far as the Florida bill is concerned, we will keep you updated on what happens next. Roofers, we want to know from you. If you have a teenager, would you allow them to work on a roof with your crew or with somebody else? Comment below and let us know your thoughts.
Tools and tech.
It is now time for our story of the week. JobNimbus announced they were going to be buying SumoQuote. Dimitri flew down to Utah a couple of days ago and interviewed both CEOs. Here's a clip.
I flew here just for this announcement. JobNimbus and SumoQuote have been partnered and sponsors and friends of Roofing Insights for a long time. As a matter of fact, JobNimbus is the first ever partner of Roofing Insights. Guys, what's going on here? Why we are here?
JobNimbus has acquired SumoQuote, and we are integrating it into our core product, and we couldn't be more excited.
Last question for our audience, probably the most important one, the most sensitive one. How is it going to affect the pricing for both users. Is price going to change at all for SumoQuote users or JobNimbus users after the acquisition?
All right, everybody, now pay close attention to these shorts from the winning fight from last week. You see SumoQuote and JobNimbus. For those of you who may not be aware, Dimitri was offered money to market a number of companies in the ring. He chose to support the companies that have supported this channel. And you cannot think of two more appropriate ones than SumoQuote and JobNimbus. Can't thank them enough for their support over the years.
Fines, scams, and jail time.
We'll end this episode with some good news, but first, it's time for those OSHA fines. It seems like we cover these a lot, and it's because there are a lot of them. There are so many violations that OSHA just increased the penalties by 3%. Here are 3 of the worst offenders from January, everyone. Top of the list is Charm Builders out of Ohio. This is a huge company working in 3 states. They agreed to pay $730,000 this month after being cited 12 times by OSHA. In their settlement agreement, they also agreed to monthly unannounced site visits. They have to make all the recommended safety changes and submit reports over to OSHA. Number 2 is Miller Building Systems out of Illinois. They've been hit with $280,000 in fines for fall violations. The owner is Elmer Miller, and there are already 5 other OSHA investigations open that involve him alone. In total, he's been fined over $900,000, and most of that still is unpaid. The final contractor to make this list is All Florida Weatherproofing and Construction. They are not getting fined as much as the others, but this is a very unique case. This company is in trouble with the Department of Labor and wage theft. Investigators found that 21 employees had not been paid their overtime hours. They were ordered to pay $130,000 in back wages and $8,000 in penalties. Folks, this is a great example of why you take good care of your people.
Good news.
Last, but certainly not least, folks, we're in with some good news this week. This story is out of Kansas. 3 roofers got together to help someone in need.
Sean Chappell, owner of Chappell Tree Service, was driving around Wichita looking for jobs after the last winter storm. That's when he found Rodolfo Alvarez's home.
I do a lot of storms out of town and freelance my work. When I get in the area, I look for the work and I make contact with the customer. And I came across this one, talked to a couple of the neighbors. They saw me out here and they said, hey, he needs help.
This would have been an expensive fix, and neighbors told Chappell Rodolfo wouldn't be able to afford the removal and roof repair. Chappell knew he would need more equipment to move the tree, so he asked for help.
I made a post on Facebook. Alex got a hold of me and said, hey, he would like to join me on this, help this dude and bless him.
Word about the tree traveled fast, but help arrived even faster.
Just one day later, another company joined in.
We didn't hesitate, absolutely. Wichita's been pretty good to us for the last 20 years, so anytime we get an opportunity to give back, and help somebody out, we're totally game for it.
And then Keter Roofing showed up to help Rodolfo.
I received a call this morning about a large tree had fallen on a home, so I came over to investigate what was going on, and it was the whole tree had fallen on the house.
All of this work,
God bless you. Thank you.
done for free to help a man in need.
As you all know, this channel believes strongly in spreading love and not hate in the industry. But we want to know from you below, do you have any good stories, something that's happened great in your town this week that roofing community needs to know about? We love to see people in the industry coming together to help homeowners. They helped each other out, they helped the homeowner, and they helped the community. What more could we ask for? That's it for the week, everybody. Make sure you tune in next Sunday and every Sunday right here for the Roofing Report. And if you haven't already, click that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll see y'all next week.